It's time for the First Federal program on WROI and streaming live on the First Federal Facebook page.
It is Friday morning and 50 degrees. I think that qualifies it as a beautiful morning, Tanner.
Yes, good morning, Paul.
Good
How we
morning.
doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. The weather was really nice yesterday.
Yes, it was. It's going to be nice this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like it's going to be really nice this weekend. A good weekend to get out and do some yard work. Maybe mow for the first time if you haven't already. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, me too, so don't worry.
Get out and do some exercising or just get outside.
Get outside,
get out
clean
of the
up
house
the
and do
yard,
something.
get that winter blues off the
Yeah.
yard.
What are we looking at? Close to 80 degrees this week?
Well, as of right now, they're saying 83.
Oh, over 80. Even
So,
better.
and it's Indiana, so it'll either be mid-70s or closer to 90.
Hey, I'm fine with either one. So, I mean, when we woke up, what was it? Was it this Monday when we woke up to snow?
Yeah,
Couldn't remember if that was this week or last week, but
that was Randy's fault, just so we're on the same
okay,
page.
I know who to blame now.
Yes.
So, but yeah, looking forward to this weekend. Should be really good weather weekend. Hopefully it's the first of May to come.
I hope so.
Today's Earth Day, Paul.
It is Earth Day. It is Earth Day. So, yeah. Only fitting that it gets warm.
Yeah. Yep. So, do you remember celebrating Earth Day as a kid in elementary school or anything like that?
Yeah, lots of learning about recycling.
Yep.
There was never any homework on Earth Day. Really no normal classwork. You just went in, learned about recycling, and went over how to recycle and what goes where and how to do it, and composting and all that good stuff.
Look at you. Sounds like you can teach a class.
No. No.
Well, we got a few other national days to go over once we get to the tidbits section. But got a trivia question this morning. Later on in the program, we have two special guests who will be joining us. Rochester High School wrestling coach Clint Gard and state champion Marshall Fishback will be joining us. Really looking forward to talking to them about their great season they had. So our trivia question's got to do with wrestling, Paul. And I'll give you the whole show to think about it, and then you can give me your answer at the end.
Thanks.
What school has the most NCAA Division I wrestling championships? I'll give you four choices.
You had to make
leave
it
in
hard
the-
on me.
Of course. Is it Minnesota, Iowa, Oklahoma, or Oklahoma State? And like I said, I'll give you the whole show to think about it.
Clint knows, so
And he
he's
knows
gonna
right
give
away.
clues
So.
throughout the show, just so that I might have a chance.
But
to
we're
get this
definitely
right.
asking you first before we ask Clint later. So.
Ah, darn.
But I know you know a few of these former wrestlers from some of these schools. So
I do.
yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
A sports report, spring sports, like I said last week, really off to a running start. But of course, with spring sports, get a lot of weather postponements, cancellations, makeup dates, etc.
Yep.
So many I can't really keep up with for local schools, so that's why you keep up with WROI and get on Fulton County Post, get on Rochester Sentinel, and figure those out. So.
Yep. Absolutely.
But the baseball team's off to a good start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach Corey Good's doing a really good job there. Some of the other programs off to a really good start as well. Locally, Tiffany Valley, Rochester, Winnemac softball's doing really well. So, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots going on and lots of behind-the-scene changes even, and
Yep.
all sorts of good stuff.
I was hoping to golf last night for the first time this year, and the course was closed due to matches on both sides.
Yes.
Valley on one side, Rochester on the other side.
Yep.
So I get it. Got to make it up and get them in while you can.
You might be able to do it today.
I'm hoping if the
I don't
rain
think there's
holds off,
anything.
and maybe tonight, man, I can go make my season debut. I guess we'll call it. Knock some rust off.
Yeah.
I've putted a few balls on the practice green, but I haven't hit any. So
You're gonna knock the rust off of what, the ball or yourself?
we'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Got a big some big coaching news that came out yesterday locally.
Yeah.
Former RHS girls coach and boys basketball assistant coach Tony Stasiak's going to be taking the Winnemac girls job.
Yep. As long as the
School board
approves
yes,
it.
yes, that's
That'll
always.
be Monday, I think, is when that.
Yes. This past Monday, the Rochester School Board approved Jill Burris being the new Rochester girls coach.
Yep.
So a lot of changes going on.
Lots of changes.
Congratulations to both those guys. It's exciting
Yes.
stuff, and they'll meet up around Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
In a matchup. That's always fun anyways. So
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to it.
yes. Yes, and then Tippecanoe Valley is going to be looking for a new boys basketball coach.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so a lot of local openings going on.
You gonna go coach?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Maybe
So,
you could be a golf coach.
maybe someday.
Teach them how to not.
Teach them what not to do.
Yeah.
And also, coaching news, this is in the college world, big college basketball news this week. Jay Wright retired from Villanova after 21 seasons. He's one of the good ones. I'd say he's probably borderline top 10 greatest coach of all time, in my opinion at least.
Yeah.
I mean, in his last 9 seasons alone at Villanova, he had 2 national titles, 3 Final Fours, 7 conference titles, 5 conference tournament titles, 22-6 in the NCAA tournament, 263-45 overall record, and 130-31 in regular season conference games. So that's pretty good.
Okay.
His last 9 years there.
I say.
So he was one of the guys who did it the right way.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Right.
In MLB, your Guardians leading their division right now, 7-5.
Yes, I know.
Still
2
weird.
grand slams already this season.
Still weird not to call them the Indians, but
They're Cleveland.
they're Cleveland, fair enough, just Cleveland.
Yes.
Other local teams going on. The Cubs are 6-7 right now. Struggled against the Pirates this week. Struggling against the Pirates this weekend and against the Rays earlier this week. White Sox are 6-6. Cincinnati Red fans, you might want to cover your ears. You're 2-11. worst team in the league right now. Cardinals 7-4 and Tigers 5-7.
It's because somebody from Ohio has to be bad. They got chose this year.
Better than Cleveland, right?
Yes, yes.
We got some tidbits here this morning. On this day in 1903, the New York Highlanders, later known as New York Yankees, played their first MLB game. They lost 3-1 to the Washington Senators.
Okay.
Did you know they were the Highlanders before they were the Yankees?
I did not.
On this day in 1954, the NBA adopted the 24-second shot clock and the 16 foul rule. Those rules are still in place today.
Yep.
On this day in 1976, Barbara Walters became the first female U.S. nightly news anchor on ABC News.
I did not realize she was the first.
I didn't either. On this day in 1993, the web browser Mosaic version 1.0 was released.
Ah.
Do you remember that, Paul?
Briefly.
Briefly.
Because I think that's about how long it lasted.
Yeah, I would not. I was 1, so.
Yeah.
And on this day in 1998, Disney's Animal Kingdom was opened.
Okay.
Ever been there?
No.
Yeah, I've been to the Disney parks, but that's one I've never been to for some reason. I've been to Epcot and Disney World, but.
I haven't left Indiana.
All right, well, someday.
Maybe.
Yeah, today's National Teach Your Children to Save Day.
Good day.
It's National Earth Day, like I said at the beginning of the program. It's National Jelly Bean Day. Jelly Bean fan?
Some.
Some. I like the Starburst ones
Yeah. Yeah.
and the Jolly Rancher ones.
Definitely not going to be one of those guys who does the jelly bean challenge.
No. And today's National Beagle Day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good dogs.
very good dogs. Got some upcoming local events. This 32nd annual Redbud Trail Rendezvous is going to be held tomorrow and Sunday, so a great weather weekend for it looks like.
Yes.
That's going to be at the Fulton County Historical Society grounds from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow and 10 a.m. to 4 on Sunday. So go out, and there's a lot of things to do out there.
Oh, yeah.
And the Fulton County Chamber of Commerce will be holding its annual gala and community awards ceremony on Saturday, April 30th at Rochester High School. That's next Saturday. Doors are going to open at 6, dinners at 7, awards ceremony shortly to follow at 8:30. Individual tickets for chamber members are $50 or $350 for a table of 6. $75 for non-chamber members and $500 for a table of 6. Tickets are for sale at the chamber office, or you can contact Kelly Scobie at the chamber's number, which is 574-224-2666.
All right.
Should be good. Should be a good event. Always is.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
I'm looking forward to it.
Money news. You already spoiled this part. Before.
Well, you've got more than what I had, so.
Not really. Not this morning. I
no.
just got the numbers. The Dow Jones it closed down yesterday, like you said, down 368.03 at 34,792.76.
Yeah.
So, and you know what Mr. Dick Belcher would have said.
It's either going to go up or it's going to
It's
go
either
down.
going to go up or it's going to go down. So
Yeah.
keep an eye on that today.
Yeah.
I do have some other money news though.
Okay.
Taco Bell's bringing back the Mexican pizza.
Yes, I'm excited for
Beginning
this.
on May 19th.
I cannot wait. I will be in line on to get me
Well,
a Mexican pizza.
It was one of those items, I was surprised when they took it off the menu, to be honest.
Well, I did some research on this, and apparently it was they were struggling to get some of the items to make it properly, so they just
Really?
did away with it. Yes, because of
Interesting.
the pandemic.
Okay.
Everything comes back to COVID, one way or
Okay,
the other.
okay. I was thinking they took it off the menu in 2019, so I was.
Nope, it came off in 2020.
Okay, well, that makes more sense then, but I know a lot of people are excited about it coming back.
Yes,
And see news about Netflix this
I
week.
have not.
They're gonna start cracking down on password sharing.
Oh.
Because
okay.
they expect to lose another 2 million subscribers between April and June. They've lost a lot of subscribers between January and March, it was reported, so.
Wonder how that's gonna work in my household, because I have 2 wireless networks.
Yeah,
Same account.
well, I know they've been doing some experimenting in some other countries, and I'm not sure all the details of it, but I know it consists of, they lock down the password sharing somehow by network or by house, and then it's $3 extra a month to share it to another, share your same account to another network or household. I don't know how.
Sorry, Tanner, you can't have my Netflix account.
I'm good. That's one I actually do pay for myself. So my girlfriend's the one that's gonna be in trouble there because she streams a lot of my platforms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That could also mean big things for other streaming platforms that allow
Yes.
that
Well,
to happen.
and that was in the report too, that they've been losing a lot of people to Disney Plus, Apple TV, etc. Because a lot of these streaming networks, their prices are going up.
Yeah,
So you kind of have to pick and choose what you want.
yeah. That's
Whereas
not
at the beginning, you kind of could get them all for
under
pretty good bundle.
$50.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
No.
Well, First Federal, we are open today from 8:30 till 5, and tomorrow from 8:30 to noon. We'd love to see you, whether it's in the drive-thru or in our lobby. You can always bank with us online, though, with our mobile app, which is free to download, whether you have an Android device or Apple device. Type in First Federal Savings Bank, look for the white star with the green background. And our ATM is always open 24/7 as well if you need some cash. If you're going out of town shopping this weekend, need some cash at the ATM. If you're a First Federal customer and you're concerned there's no First Federal ATMs, well, we're part of the MoneyPass network. So all you gotta go is moneypass.com, type in your zip code, find out what ATMs are available to use without getting charges, surcharge. So,
And I think that's available on the your guys' app too. You can find an ATM on there that way too. I think. I'm trying to remember.
I'm trying to remember too now. Well, one time MoneyPass did have an app. They don't have an app anymore. They just have their website. So I know the link's on our website for sure.
All right.
So you can go to our website or go to moneypass.com and figure out which ATMs you can use and not get charged. We offer Simply Free checking accounts and Simply Free business checking accounts. Right now, when you open up a new checking account, you get a free gift, which is a bento box.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's the last day for that.
Ooh.
New checking gift cycle starts next week with a mini waffle maker,
Ah.
which
So if you go open an account next week, tell them I sent you.
there you go. Because if you refer a friend, if you already have an account with us, don't want to open up another one, you can refer a friend. When your friend comes in, opens up an account, not only will they get a gift for opening the account, you will as well for referring them. So pretty easy process. You can do that online even.
Yep.
We have links on our website. We've got links on our social media. It takes you to that page. So waffle fans, breakfast fans, look for that gift starting next week. And I'll make sure either Todd or Evan brings one in next week.
Oh, so there'll be one up on you for bringing it in the first
Exactly.
week.
Exactly. We offer commercial lending for businesses. Contact Lindy Breeden for more information. His direct line is 574-223-1716. And you can also contact Mark Blueball or Brian Bell of our Financial Service Department for more information if you're planning on retirement, your 401k, IRA, etc. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FFBanking. Like us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you'll find archived radio shows from the past few years. Past interviews with our founder Dick Belcher, and a lot of other good videos on there.
Yes.
We're the only locally owned bank in Fulton County. We don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best. Borrowers must meet underwriting guidelines. We are FDIC insured and equal housing lender, and our NMLS number is 3999927.
And that makes us legal.
Makes us legal and ready to welcome our special guests on this morning. Whoever wants to go first, or both of you at the same time.
You go first. You go first. You're the celebrity.
We have Marshall Fishback this morning. He is the 285-pound state champion this year. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, first off.
Thank you.
And Paul, what was the question of the day today for WROI? It's kind of fitting, I thought.
Name something that you have done that not a lot of other people have done.
It's a tough one. Probably win a state championship. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say that's a pretty good answer there.
Yeah,
Pretty good
I
answer
think that's
there.
a great answer.
I mean, yeah, looking at some of your accolades down here, I mean, won state championship, and not only that, you had a day, your own personal
22.
day.
22. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was unexpected. I remember, like 2 days. No, we get back Sunday. Gard comes up and he's like, "Hey, Tuesday, the mayor's gonna have you down, and they're gonna name a day after you." I'm like, "No, they're not." He's like, "Yeah, they are." I'm like, "Oh." Next thing I know, 222. I'm in the courthouse and get it all figured out.
That's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
great.
Yeah, you're definitely the first person I've ever talked to that's had their own day named after themselves. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So I see down here you wrestled when you were younger.
Yeah. Gone through 4th grade.
Okay, your 4th grade, but then you didn't get back into it till your sophomore year.
Yeah.
What made you want to get back into wrestling?
Gard's constant noise to me and my mother, and just a whole bunch of like my friends and a bunch of people that influenced me heavily were getting into it, and I figured I want to get better at football, I want to get better at my other sports, so I'll hop in and just see what happens, make myself a better athlete, and it turned out being a pretty good idea.
So you said other sports, so you played football and then you participate in track and field too?
Yeah.
And did you do those 2 sports your freshman year, but didn't wrestle?
I did both my freshman year. I had the winter off.
Okay. Okay. So, but I like how you said that one of the big reasons you wanted to get back into wrestling was you knew it would benefit you in other sports as well.
Yeah, that was really the selling point. I mean, football is like my main sport. Love football, so I wanted to get better for our team, and wrestling was the best and easiest way to do that.
And what are some things you can learn in wrestling that transfer over to those other sports?
Just a whole bunch of footwork, balance. I mean, all of it: strength, conditioning, movement. So, like every aspect that wrestling gave me, I've been able to transfer on the football field. So.
Probably both physically and mentally too.
Yeah. The mental edge that wrestling gives you also helps transfer over to the football field.
So I'm looking down here. Your first year was in 2020 for high school wrestling. You were 11-17, but then last year in 2021 you made a huge jump. Overall record 30-2, TRC champion, sectional champion. And then of course this year, 37-1. I believe that was your overall record.
45.
45-1. See, the website I used was way off. So first state champion, wrestling champion Rochester ever had. TRC champ, sectional champ, regional champ, semi-state champ. I mean, what made you improve so much over the last few years?
Well, it started off when the pandemic hit. That was right after my sophomore season had ended. So, right when that pandemic hit, I completely changed myself physically and mentally. I started focusing on my schoolwork. Then with the extra time, I spent it dieting correctly, working out a lot. We had workouts sent out to us. I did those, and I did a little extra after. So it started there, and then just throughout the next off seasons, I just kept on putting my head down and doing the work for as long as it took.
So I was saying, do the work and the results come, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, just talk to us a little bit about this season. I mean, was your goal before the season? Was it to make state? Was it to win state? I mean,
Yeah,
did you?
the goal before the season was just to make the state tournament.
Okay.
And then about halfway through the season, I was like, yeah, I mean, if I'm going to make it, I might as well just place it in
Right.
the top 8 down the podium. And then we get there, the week of, we get the draw, and I really liked my first match. I'm like, okay, let's get top 4. And then I just kept on progressing, and then all of a sudden I was in the finals, and at that point the match had already rolled out. You might as well win the thing.
I like it. And what was going through your mind going into that final championship match?
Well, first I was like already kind of dead. The 3 hours I was kind of sitting on a back way, tunnel on a cold concrete, so I was kind of just mopey or whatever. But then, a couple matches before, I had to start getting up, moving around. My thought process was really like, you can only control so much. Like, I wasn't really worried about if I won or lost. I was already happy with where I made it. So I was just go out, give it all I got, see what happens.
And you did just that.
Did just that.
Now, what are your future plans after graduation in high school?
I plan to go to college at Trine University, study PE education, play football for the program.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, what position are you hoping to play in football? Or they talk to you?
I'm just going to any spot on the offensive line that they have open whenever I get it.
Guard, tackle, doesn't matter to you?
Tackle, not center.
Not center, no snapping
I
for
cannot
you?
snap the football. That would be a bad idea.
Well, congratulations once again on a fantastic season, fantastic career, and good luck the rest of your track season too. I know you guys are off to a good start.
Yeah.
So what's the goals there? I guess.
The goal there is to make the state level. Last year I was a regional qualifier, got knocked out in the regional finals there, so kind of hoping to make it past that, make it to state this year.
Yeah, yeah. Might as well put a cap on another state journey.
Might as well just finish off with
Yeah,
those.
why not? So, well, congratulations, Marshall. Thank you for
so
joining
much.
us this
Of
morning.
course.
Let me hop down off my.
All right. We're now joined by Rochester High School wrestling coach Clint Gard. Morning, Clint. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, thanks for having me.
Well, we just spoke with your state champion there, and I can tell it's a kid that you're extremely proud of.
Sure, absolutely. It's been a long journey for Marshall, and I can remember back. I've still got a picture on my filing cabinet in my office of maybe his first or second year wrestling with the other kids that are in that age group, my own boys and the Holloway boys and some others, and life events happen, and kind of lost track of him through elementary school and middle school, and we got our eye back on him in middle school because he was playing football. I think was it Coach Roberts. Was he coaching at the time? Yeah. So, we started talking to him about wrestling then, and he just didn't want any part of it. And freshman year, same thing. And so we revisited it just before his sophomore year, and I think it helps that we just had a lot of kids from wrestling on the football team. He was really good friends with the Swangos, Aaron and Eli and Noah especially, and I think Noah made a huge impact on him. So, he says it's for me, bugging him and bugging his mom. I really think it probably had more to do with Noah bugging him.
Yes, your friends.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of put him in charge of that. So, but yeah, and I thought, well, okay, we got a big, strong kid. This is going to be really, really good. And then he goes 11 and 17 and doesn't make it out of section. So I was like, okay, we got some work to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, when COVID hit, he lost 40, 30, 50 pounds.
Wow.
Was a workaholic. His grades went from grades you don't even want to talk about to A's and B's and straight A's, I think even a couple 9 weeks. So he just completely kind of reinvented himself, and when we got back out on the wrestling mat and got in the weight room then that summer in July, completely different kid. And then from that point forward, the stat I really like, people talk about his records and stuff like that now, but from the end of his sophomore year when he got beat at sectional, he only lost 3 matches.
Wow.
And those 3 matches were his junior year were to the number 1 and number 2 ranked kids in the state. And one of them ended up being a state champ. And then he lost 1 match this year to a kid who was ranked 9th at the time from North Central. So that's pretty good company.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's the one I'm impressed with the most.
Yeah.
And you think I'd have to go back and really kind of look at how many wins he has, his junior and senior year, but a lot of them were pretty dominant wins. A lot of pins, a lot of tech falls, a lot of kids not even in the match. So it was a fun time. Obviously seeing him grow this year and just our team in general, but he just had a really good perspective, especially when we hit the postseason tournament from sectionals on. We talk about it a lot. We work with a mindset coach for our team, and he really took to that. And so when you hear him say, things like, I just focused on my effort, that just all comes from, things we talk about every day, but, working with our mindset coach for our team, and just having a really healthy perspective on, I can't worry about the win or the loss, I just have to go out there and give my very best effort. Yeah. And, his state finals match, I would say probably, and really, I would say, even after Friday night, those 3 matches that he wrestled on Saturday were probably the hardest I've ever seen him wrestle. Maybe not the best, and that's okay. The competition has something to say about that.
Sure.
They're pretty good too, but he just wrestled really, really, really hard. And that's kind of what that's what you want to see.
Sure.
I mean, he ends up winning a semifinals and his finals match by the flip of a coin, basically. So there's not, you can't control that.
Yeah.
So, but he just wrestled hard. And I would have been, if he would have won or if he would have lost, I would have been just as proud of him because his effort was outstanding. So he really represented our program well that day.
Yeah, and I know you've been on record saying this season was unique for you because not only did you have the success as a team, but you really enjoyed coaching this team too. I know you've said there's been years in the past where a team might not have been as successful, but they're fun to coach.
Sure.
There's been years you've had a lot of success, but they weren't as fun to coach.
Yeah.
This team kind of was both.
Yeah, and I think that's what, from about midway through the season, and these guys probably tell you something different, but I just really it was a little bit easier for me to sit back and kind of enjoy things. Not because we were winning, but just we didn't have issues with grades. We didn't have issues with kids. We weren't having issues with parents or any kind of drama within the team. And it was just fun. I mean,
Yeah.
The coaching staff got along great. The coaching staff gets along well with the kids. I think every coach on our team has certain kids that kind of draw to them. And, it was just fun. It was fun to watch them kind of grow throughout the year. And I certainly, we had big expectations. Our goals never change. We always want to win our conference. We always want to win our sectional. We always want to get back to team state and compete for a state title in that realm. But I didn't, winning your regional as a team in a one-class system, and then turn around and winning your semi-state in a one-class system is crazy.
Yeah.
And to do that and to do it the way we did it, win a semi-state with basically it coming down to heavyweight, he wins in overtime, we win by 2.5 points, and it was just fun,
Yeah.
and to watch our kids. We've done a lot of winning over the years, and I've not seen the excitement by our kids, and it was from. It didn't matter if it was from a dual meet that was on a Thursday night with 50 people in the gym, or whether it was at semi-state when our team went crazy and jumping around like a bunch of idiots, and that's on video. And but it's our kids. They just had a really great attitude, and they just kept dialing in and putting their head down and doing the work every week, and it was fun to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, and you've set quite the culture there with that program. I mean, you've done a lot of winning over the years, like you said. And one thing I've always admired about the wrestling program, you guys focus so much on the youth programs too, going up, and I think that kind of sets you apart from some other programs.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just, coming up, I kind of saw it. Back when I wrestled, we had off-season wrestling, but it was all the different stuff, freestyle, Greco-Roman, and only the bigger schools had youth programs.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew, whenever I started coaching, I knew we had to get that started. And it took a while when I got here, and we had some, years where, off years, on years, off years. It was just never consistent. And if you look at the success of our high school program over the years, very inconsistent. Every 3 or 4 years, we'd have a really good program. And then we'd be down for 3 or 4 years. So it's now starting to be more consistent because we were more consistent the last 6 or 7 years with our youth program. There was, back in, I think it started in 2015 maybe, 2016, the years start running together,
Sure.
but with our youth program, we were in the state finals 4 years in a row.
Wow.
3 years we were runner-ups, and then the 1 year we won it. So now we're seeing that, and so that consistency moves up the ladder, and but that's the youth program that's where
Yeah.
it is for wrestling at least. I don't know how other programs are or other sports, but you have to get kids on the wrestling mat earlier in their careers, and you don't have to necessarily wrestle in tournaments. If you ask a lot of our parents when they first start out, they just come in and practice, and we have fun, and we do gymnastics, and we play dodgeball, and they teach them a little bit of wrestling along the way. But we get them hooked with dodgeball.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And, then it's, but now it's every night, and that's the problem is our high school kids now, we start practice almost every night with dodgeball. 20 years ago, if you had asked me to play dodgeball, I'd have probably gotten mad and said, well, we're gonna go run stairs. If that's what's important to you,
Yeah.
nah, it's, okay,
Change-
let's play
change
dodgeball.
a
If you guys wanna play dodgeball, we'll play
Yeah.
dodgeball. So, we try to incorporate, some more fun into it, and, it's a long season, and, if you don't have fun with it, and you don't do some things differently throughout the year, your kids are gonna eventually, wrestling the competition that we do, you're going to, it's gonna wear you down.
And one thing I've always liked about your coaching style too, I've seen on social media is you do recruiting pitches out there to kids in other sports too,
Sure.
and kind of saying the advantage wrestling will give you to your other sports. I've always thought that was great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that probably bothers some people. But I'm gonna recruit kids and
Sure.
try to get the best athletes and the best kids in our program, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Wrestling is a very good tool for just about any sport. I know we've been talking about football, but when you talk about your hand-eye coordination and your footwork and your balance and just the stability that it gives your body, because of the overall strength that you have to be a wrestler, and probably the mental toughness is the biggest thing. It makes a difference, and I don't care what sport it is. It'll make a difference for you. You may not see it at first, but it makes a huge difference for kids. And I think the more we're trying to build our girls program, and we've got some girls that are in now and enjoying it, and they see a difference too. So the other thing that, and we don't talk about this a lot, but it also gives kids a ton of confidence. Whether they're winners or whether they don't win a match, it just gives them a ton of confidence. And I think those things are important. If you have confidence and mental toughness, you can be a pretty good high school athlete.
Sure.
And you can win a lot no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So, what better thing can a parent get your kid involved in that gives you confidence and gives you mental toughness?
Yeah. Well said. Well, two last things I'll let you hit on before we say goodbye here. Got a golf outing coming up.
Yeah, July 23rd. I told somebody last week it was June. No, it's July. July 23rd. It's a Saturday. And I think this year we're going to have 2 flights.
Oh, great.
Last year we had 24, 25 teams. So I think this year we're going to be able to have 2 flights going. Information is going to be coming out pretty soon. My assistant coach Derek Holloway is kind of taking the reins on that, and he's going to start contacting people, and we'll start advertising, getting all that stuff out for sponsors and players, teams, all that good stuff. So we've always had good feedback from our golf outing. Our people that come, they enjoy it. We try to have fun with them out on the course and do some different things. So and knock on wood, we've had pretty good weather the last few years. So that's been good too. So we're looking forward to that. That's a big fundraiser for us because that helps us fund the Jordan Schaefer Memorial Scholarship. And we use that to help kids. Last year we were able to give 2 scholarships out. And I think we'll see this year. I don't know, I haven't had a whole lot of applicants. So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, we've been able to give kids more money each year, and that's the goal with that. And that also helps kids go to camp, and we do, during the season, we did 5 overnight trips this year.
Wow.
Which we do them for 2 reasons. One, it gives us really good competition, and 2, it's just a good team building thing. Our kids love it.
Yeah.
And so the club pays for those. And,
That's great.
but that's also a huge cost, you know, and so that'll help fund that as well with our overnights. And that also, when we do overnights in the off season, we have camps and stuff like that, that helps with those things too. So that'll be a big money maker for us. And I'm guessing the next one is going to be our Rent-A-Wrestler program.
You're right.
That one, that fundraiser, I don't even look at it as a fundraiser anymore. It's more of a it's become a service to the community. And I advertised on Facebook, I think maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. And, you know, we've already completed, let's see, I think 6 jobs.
Wow.
And we got 3 more on Saturday. I haven't even, this is the first I've talked about it in public.
Yeah.
But I'll have people way back in December, hey, when are you starting Rent-A-Wrestler? Well, not until the snow goes away, I can promise you that. So Rent-A-Wrestler for us always starts right after we get back from spring break, and it'll go right up until the first day of school.
Okay.
Once school hits, we stop. But we'll go through the months of June and July pretty heavy. This year we're taking, we've got 3 different wrestling camps our kids are going to, and we're taking 30 kids to each one of those camps.
Wow.
We did an online fundraiser that has helped huge with, and I'm sure some people saw it or got information about it. That was to help purchase our rings for our team state runner-up, but also we're sending kids, you know, to 3 different wrestling camps. So, and those are we're bringing in some really, we're going to, well, it's over at Manchester, but we're going to, it's the Wabash Wrestling Camp that they're hosting at Manchester. He'll have national and international coaches there for our kids to learn from. Last year we had one of the, it might have been Ukrainian, but he came in and taught our kids for a day and was outstanding. And then we had some other, Coleman Scott, who coaches in North Carolina, was a 2-time national champ for Oklahoma State. Those guys are there. Then we're bringing in a guy for 2 days from Atlanta named Cliff Fretwell, who is probably as good a clinician as anybody I've ever seen in my 34 years of being in wrestling. He's just outstanding, and this will be his 3rd time coming back to our. He really enjoys coming back for our team. And then we're taking 30 kids over to Jeff Jordan Camp in Ohio, which is a nationally renowned camp, and that's a killer camp. So all goes back to the kids. Rings, camps. The Rent-A-Wrestler, it helps kids with their practice gear. When we do our practice gear at the beginning of the season, that'll help pay for that. And it also, that fundraiser specifically, also those kids that work, basically earn a trip to the state tournament. So when Marshall went down, we had 4 guys qualify. We were able to take 10 other kids, and we had a suite down there at Gamebridge. So we watched wrestling they watched wrestling in the suite.
Yeah.
Stayed in the hotel right across the Hyatt place right across there, and the only thing they had to pay for was their food.
That's great.
So it's. A lot of these fundraisers that we do is simply to do 2 things: provide really cool experiences for our kids and help them get better.
Yeah, that's great. Well, congratulations to you both on a
Thank
great
you.
season.
Appreciate it.
So, and everything coming up in the future.
Yep.
All right, Paul, trivia time.
All right, let's do it.
Which school has the most NCAA Division I wrestling championships? Minnesota, Iowa, Oklahoma State. I'll give you first guess.
I'm gonna go Oklahoma State.
You would be correct. You would be
Kind of
correct.
give me that.
Yeah, I noticed
Didn't
that.
mention any other school, but he made sure to mention Oklahoma State, so I felt that was a clue.
Well, they have 34, but their last one came in 2006. So
Wow.
it's been a little while for them, but
Yeah.
I would have thought it was Iowa.
Well, a lot of Oklahoma States came very early.
Yeah,
If you look back at their stats, don't get me wrong, they're really a good program.
yeah.
Iowa's have come more since the 70s and 80s, really since the 80s. I think they won 9 straight at one point. But Oklahoma State just has the history.
Sure.
They were one of the first Division I schools. to have it, and obviously they just have a really strong history.
Yeah,
So
makes sense. So,
Penn State's the one catching everybody.
yeah, yeah. And Minnesota's had some individual winners over the years.
Sure,
Gable
yeah.
Stevenson this year. So
Okay.
let's close with some words of wisdom here, Paul, from Robin Williams.
Ah, good man.
No matter what people tell you, words and ideas can change the world.
I like that. All right, well, we'll see you guys next week.
We'll be here. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.